If you think cybersecurity is just SOC analysts and pentesters, that old map is already obsolete. Start here. Cybersecurity is changing fast because infrastructure, AI, and regulation rewrote the playbook. Cloud services, third-party APIs, and identity systems now form the main battlefield. Teams used to chase alerts. Now they build systems to prevent alarms. That means new jobs, new skill mixes, and careers that blend engineering, data, and policy. Over the next few minutes, we'll map 15 roles you should know and a clear path to get there. 3 forces are rewriting job descriptions: cloud-first architectures, AI on both sides, and tighter regulation. Clouds spread risk across identities and APIs. Generative models speed both attacks and defenses. Regulators now treat breaches like financial events. These forces turn security from reactive firefighting into proactive engineering. But what does that look like in concrete roles? Next, we'll unpack the exact jobs companies are hiring for right now. Quick reality check. The workforce gap is massive. Studies show millions of unfilled cybersecurity roles worldwide, and demand keeps accelerating. That's not theoretical hiring fluff. Companies scramble for detection engineers, cloud experts, and policy advisors. If you can combine technical depth with domain focus, you get leverage. So which roles pay that leverage? We'll start with AI-native security jobs and move through infrastructure, governance, and the weird corners like quantum cryptography. Before the list, note a big cultural shift. Security teams now act like product teams. They ship code, measure coverage, and run experiments. Instrumentation and telemetry matter as much as malware signatures. That change creates roles centered on data pipelines, detection engineering, and platform reliability. Think of defenders as quality engineers for trust, building measurable, repeatable safeguards. Ready to see the first role that only exists because AI exploded onto the scene? Security data engineer builds the pipelines that turn noisy logs into reliable detections. They normalize telemetry from clouds, endpoints, identities, and apps, then map detections to attack. Expect SQL, Python, and streaming tools in their toolkit. Their work raises signal to noise and makes alerts actionable. Without them, detection rules are guesswork. So who hunts what those pipelines miss? That's our next role. Threat hunters proactively search environments for stealthy adversary behaviors. They form hypotheses, use attack mappings, and pivot across timelines and telemetry. Hunting reveals techniques alerts miss, like lateral movement hidden in normal traffic. Hunters feed purple team loops, creating higher fidelity detections. This role sleeps poorly but finds the needle in the haystack. After hunting comes cleaning up messes. What happens after an attacker gets inside? That's next. DFIR specialists now specialize in cloud and SaaS forensics. They collect evidence across accounts, preserve chain of custody, and map breach timelines across services like AWS, Azure, and Office 365. Modern incidents hop between identities and third-party apps, so investigators must be cloud-native. Their reports inform legal disclosures and architecture fixes. After the forensic timeline, we'll look at the people who design systems to avoid those timelines entirely. Cloud security architects design zero-trust, scalable environments. They choose segmentation, secret management, and policy as code tools. Their reference architectures and landing zones either reduce risk or amplify it. Good architects translate threat models into cloud guardrails and landing templates. They ensure services ship securely at scale. Once architecture is in place, identity controls enforce it. Meet the role that owns identity as the control plane. Identity security architects build SSO, MFA, PAM, and conditional access at scale. They manage lifecycles, role models, and privileged workflows. Because most breaches involve identity abuse, locking down identity removes huge attack paths. Expect deep protocol knowledge, SAML, OIDC, SCIM, and tooling experience. Identity pros make compromise harder and detection clearer. Next, we'll shift left to where security meets code and product decisions. Product security engineers embed security into the software lifecycle. They threat model features, run SAST, DAST, and manage SBOMs for dependencies. Their job is reducing production bugs by shifting left, not chasing them later. They act as developer allies, guiding secure APIs, reviewing code, and integrating scans into CI. Product security measures reduce customer risk while scaling engineering velocity. Speaking of pipelines, who builds secure CI/CD platforms? That's our next role. DevSecOps platform engineers build CI/CD pipelines with built-in security, scanners, policy gates, secrets detection, and artifact signing. They use IAC, policy as code, and tools like Sigstore. Their work makes secure builds repeatable and tamper-evident. With software supply chain attacks making headlines, this role turned from optional to essential. Next, we tackle the wider supply chain risk that still trips companies up. Supply chain security leads manage SBOMs, vendor risk, and dependency mapping. They prepare for events like Log4j and maintain emergency patch workflows. Skills include SBOM standards, VEX analysis, and exploitability assessment. Their outputs are rigorous inventories and supplier reviews that stop third-party leverage. Supply chain leads often coordinate across legal and development teams. Now, let's step into industrial spaces where security impacts physical safety. Privacy engineers design systems to protect personal and sensitive data by default. They build data maps, encryption, and de-identification pipelines. They align systems with GDPR, CCPA, and privacy by design principles. Their work includes key management, data minimization, and privacy impact assessments. This role blends legal understanding with engineering chops, preventing costly breaches and fines. Next, we'll look at the governance side that translates law into controls for boards and execs. Cyber law, policy, and governance professionals turn regulation into operational controls. They map NIST, ISO, and NIS2 to company practices, and they support boards with risk reporting. This role needs policy writing, legal coordination, and an ability to translate technical risk into dollars and strategy. As regulators push faster disclosures, these advisors become strategic assets. After governance, automation scales response. Meet the engineers who program playbooks to act at machine speed. Security automation engineers built SOAR playbooks that automate triage and containment. They integrate APIs, write enrichment routines, and reduce time to containment measurably. Automation reduces alert fatigue and lets humans focus on complex decisions. Their work demands Python, event-driven design, and deep incident workflow knowledge. Automation drives scale, so where do attackers still win? The next role simulates their campaigns in realistic ways. Red Team 2.0 simulates cloud lateral movement, identity abuse, and AI-enabled social engineering. These teams emulate realistic campaigns, then work with blue teams to fix the gaps. Their reports prioritize fixes for maximum business impact, not just technical trophies. Modern red teams need cloud skills and identity attack techniques. After you know how attackers strike, you must plan for future cryptographic threats. Enter quantum readiness. Quantum-ready cryptography specialists inventory crypto, design migration roadmaps, and pilot post-quantum algorithms. They guard against harvest now, decrypt later threats to long-lived data. This role blends crypto agility, key management, and vendor coordination. It's niche today, but strategic for organizations with sensitive archives. That covers the 15 roles. Next, we'll zoom out to the skills that remain valuable across every profile. Some skills never go away. Red teaming, DFIR, and threat hunting stay relevant because they mirror attacker behavior. The names and tools shift, but the mental models remain. Combine those core skills with cloud fundamentals, identity depth, and data engineering to become durable. Think of this blend as a T-shaped profile. Broad security knowledge with deep expertise in one area. Ready for how AI and automation reshape daily work? AI is a force multiplier in defense and offense. LLMs summarize alerts, enrich cases, and draft reports. Detection models surface anomalies across massive telemetry, but they need clean labels and good data engineering. Treat AI like a system, not a magical black box. Deploy without guardrails, and you'll bolt on security later at higher cost. Next, practical guardrails you can adopt right now. 2 practical AI guardrails. Use a risk framework and track vulnerabilities specific to models. The NIST AI RMF gives a risk structure. The OASP Top 10 for LLMs highlights common failures like prompt injection. Combine framework thinking with logging and detection for AI workloads. Teams that adopt these practices early avoid expensive retrofits. Now let's cover the governance shift that makes cyber risk a board-level concern. Students and early career pros should nail networking and OS fundamentals, learn Python or PowerShell, and experiment with cloud-free tiers. Build a lab, home or cloud, and instrument it with logs you can analyze. Document your experiments publicly on GitHub and a blog. That portfolio matters far more than an alphabet soup of certifications. After you have basics, choose a focused 60 to 90-day deep dive to gain real credibility. A small but mighty lab demonstrates problem solving. Spin up a landing zone, generate traffic, and write detections against it. Document your hypotheses, tests, and findings in a public repo. Recruiters want solved problems, not theory. Labs also let you practice DFIR, hunting, and automation safely. Ready to pick a focused path? Let's outline how to choose and go deep. Pick a minor focus: detection engineering, cloud security, or product security. Spend 60 to 90 days building a concrete project. Write Sigma rules, deploy a secure landing zone, or threat model a side app. Show measurable outcomes: reduced false positives, hardened IAM policies, or a CI security pipeline. That evidence beats generic resumes. After you've built, learn for real incidents and public postmortems to sharpen judgment. Read incident postmortems like case studies. The Verizon DBIR and detailed breach write-ups teach detection gaps, attacker TTPs, and response missteps. Write your own what we'd fix notes and publish them. Participate in hands-on platforms, try HackMe, Blue Team Labs, or detection challenges to translate theory into evidence. Practical experiences make interviews simple conversations about work you already did. Next, what entry roles should you target once you're ready? Entry-level targets include Junior Detection Engineer, SOC Tier 1.5, Cloud Security Intern, IAM Analyst, or GRC Analyst. Certifications help, but aren't mandatory. Security Plus, Cloud Fundamentals, or an AWS Azure Security Badge can open doors. Employers prize evidence: a GitHub repo, a documented lab, or contributions to an open-source detection rule set. Next, advice for experienced pros plotting a pivot into these growth roles. Experienced pros should pick pivots with market pull, shift from network ops into cloud security, or from app dev into product security. Map your transferable skills, then build a short portfolio proving them. Employers value depth plus domain knowledge. Your project should show you solved a real problem. Consider internal rotations, certifications aligned to your target, and public writing that demonstrates thought leadership. Next, a compact playbook for career durability. Career durability comes from being T-shaped: broad security knowledge plus one deep specialty. Blend red teaming, DFIR, or hunting with modern skills: cloud, identity, and data engineering. Continual learning matters. Read postmortems, attend Purple Team exercises, and keep a public record of solved problems. Employers hire people who reduce risk and scale knowledge. In the next section, we'll cover soft skills and hiring signals that separate good candidates from great ones. Hiring managers look for curiosity, communication, and measurable outcomes. Can you explain a technical risk to a board? Can you show a detection rule you wrote and its impact? Soft skills like storytelling, prioritization, and cross-team collaboration convert technical ability into leadership potential. Practice simple narratives about problems you solved. Next, a short recap of the practical roadmap we've covered so you can act quickly. Mindset shift. Treat security as engineering and measurement. Ship experiments, add instrumentation, and iterate on detections. Measure coverage and noise. Present improvements as business metrics. Reduced MTTR, fewer false positives, faster mean detection times. That mindset aligns you with product and leadership priorities. Now, a parting idea that most people overlook, but that compounds career growth quickly. Most pros underestimate the power of documentation and public teaching. Write short postmortems, detection notes, and how-to guides. Teaching forces clarity and creates visible proof of skill. Recruiters and hiring managers read these to gauge your thinking. Start small. One post a month about a tool, a hunt, or a hardening you built. That practice builds credibility faster than chasing every certification. Ready for the final call to action and how to continue learning? You've just seen the roadmap: 15 roles, evergreen skills, AI guardrails, and a practical path to get hired. Start with fundamentals, build visible projects, choose a specialty, and communicate outcomes in business terms. The demand is real and growing, so pick a path, ship-proof, and iterate. If you want a downloadable checklist and role-by-role resources, I'll link them below. Here's one final nudge to get you moving. Last thought: your advantage is synthesis. Technical depth plus the ability to connect security to business impact. Do that, and you'll be in demand across AI, cloud, supply chain, and governance. If one role resonated, start a 30-day sprint to build a demonstratable project. Small, focused wins compound quickly in this field. If you'd like more templates, say which role you want, and I'll share targeted steps next. If this helped, like and subscribe for weekly career guides. Comment which role you'll pursue, and I'll post a tailored 30-day plan.